Hey everyone, it's Jaden from SpeedCubeShop.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at these abnormally large 3x3s. So this is the Diansheng Google series, which, as you can tell, these are some very big cubes. And as we'll see later in the video, these things actually perform pretty well. And also for a size reference, this is what a standard size 56mm cube looks like next to them. The smallest one out of the bunch comes in at 70mm and costs $16.95 at SpeedCubeShop.com. Next is the 80mm cube, which is $21.95. Then the 90mm cube, which is $24.95. And finally, the 100mm cube, which comes in at $32.95. So obviously these cubes are quite large, and typically with cubes of these sizes, they're more of a novelty product as opposed to your everyday speed cubes. And that only kinda applies to these cubes. While these big cubes here definitely won't replace your standard size speed cube, these guys still have incredible performance. So starting off with the 70mm cube here, right off the bat we see that this has pretty incredible corner cutting. It is 45 with a little bit of force, and then line-to-line reverse corner cutting almost effortlessly. So moving up to the next size, which is the 80mm cube, this has some pretty similar corner cutting, with it being 45. It does take a little bit more force, but it is still relatively easy, and then the reverse corner cutting is still line-to-line. And once again, moving up to the next size here, we have the 90mm cube, which is the same size as the Chi one, but contrary to the Chi one, this one actually has good performance. So the corner cutting is 45 with relative ease. Again, you're still using a little bit of force, and then the reverse corner cutting is line to line pretty effortlessly. So now onto our biggest cube here, which is the 100mm cube. This thing also, despite its size, has great performance. The corner cutting again is still 45 with relative ease. It does take a bit more effort, I would say, but it's still pretty easy. And then reverse corner cutting is still line to line. So now onto the turning feel of these cubes. These guys are pretty smooth with only a slight scratchy feel. It turns pretty fast with minor catching, and it also has magnets, which helps make the turns more accurate, which reduces lockups and catching. And speaking of magnets, these are pretty moderate strength magnets, I would say. They're not super strong, but they aren't so weak that they aren't noticeable at all. I will say, as you go up and up in size, the magnets seem to have less and less of an effect, and I think that's mostly due to the amount of effort you have to put into each cube, especially with the 100mm cube. And now let's take a closer look at these cubes by taking out some corners and edges. So as you can tell, the pieces use a split piece design along with almost this like teardrop design on the pieces here to help with the disbursement of lube. As you go up and up in size with the cubes, you can see that the teardrop design also changes a little bit. And not only does the teardrop design change, but also the tracks on the edge pieces. That's pretty much it for the actual piece design. And if you look at the core, you can see it's a pretty standard core. There's nothing special, no corner to core magnets or anything. So now that we have these cubes reassembled, let's go ahead and take a look underneath the center cap. And we can see that it has a dual adjustment system. So taking a closer look at the dual adjustment system, we can see that it has 10 different settings, and you turn it counterclockwise to increase the spring compression. So that is all for this video. If you guys want to get your hands on any of these cubes here, we'll leave a link down below in the description where you can get these on SpeedCubeShop.com. And if you guys enjoy the video, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for supporting the shop. And before I go, leave a comment down below if we should make a video on this cube. Take care.